So far in my life, the oldest movie I've ever watched is All Quiet on the Western Front from 1930, so the original, not the Netflix remake. And this is a film I really loved. I mean, the set design, the acting, the message, the anti-war message behind it, despite its age, really still holds up. And while the film is in black and white, it still has the benefit of having dialogue and sound and everything. But when I saw that my local theater was playing Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush from 1925, black and white, and with no dialogue,
Check it out.
I was intimidated, to give it one word, because this would be the first silent film I would ever experience so far in my life. And not only is it a black and white film with no dialogue from 100 years ago, it still is also a comedy, and for that to translate so many years later, I was just kind of going into it expecting not that much. I knew it had good reviews from certain websites and everything, and I mean, it's Charlie Chaplin, it's a classic, but even modern comedy can get pretty stale. Like, movies I saw in high school, I'm starting to rewatch them now as an adult, and they're not as funny anymore, so this, I didn't have a lot of faith going into this, to be totally honest. But as soon as that first scene started, I was immediately sold on, on what I was about to watch, because it gave me a feeling that only special movies give me. The best way I can always describe it is like Disney magic. It's like walking into Disneyland or watching old Disney movies for the first time. It's childlike wonder, I guess. But in this case, it's just so classic cinema. It felt like you were truly connecting with something, a part of history, immediately out of the gate. And I was ready for the hour and a half I was about to spend. I think a big part of that feeling also comes from everything. I mean, it was 100 years ago. Everything there was real. It was physical. You know, nothing against the modern day animations and CGI. I mean, I love animated movies. I love Pixar. Avatar was pretty cool and definitely a trailblazer in CGI in general. But I just have a special place in my heart for practical effects. Maybe that's why I like Christopher Nolan so much. Okay, before I start yapping so much about what I loved about this movie, I want to first start with some caveats I have with the film. I am only human, I know. And a 23-year-old brain-rotted human at that.
What the is this?
So I definitely got bored in moments. I could feel myself slipping into boredom during certain parts of this film. Again, no dialogue. It's like it would challenge, I think, most people. But I mean, the movie is working with what it's got. It doesn't have all the technology we have today, and I think in general I was pretty impressed with what they were able to do with it. But still, I can't say that everybody would love this film. I wouldn't say most people would enjoy it, especially if you're not a big movie person, which is totally fine. I think there's nothing wrong with disliking an old classic film and just preferring more of the modern day fun movies. And I probably would not have enjoyed it this much if it wasn't for it being in a theater, on the big screen. I think if I was just at home on TV, I have seen older movies on just a normal television, but there was that magical feeling I got was definitely in part to do with in the theater. Plus, it was under an hour and a half. It was an hour 28 minutes. So there wasn't moments of boredom as long as it kept on picking up, which it did. It would end soon. So it was a perfect combination of all circumstances, environment, and I came out just truly loving this film. Okay, so now I want to ramble on about what I loved about this film. To start, again, practical effects. I mean, Charlie Chaplin wore an actual chicken costume. I'll try not to spoil too much, but it is 100 years old. So, and you can watch it on YouTube, I think in its entirety. So I would recommend it if it sounds interesting. But I think most people can choose for themselves in this moment, do you want to watch a movie like this? Anyways, again, all practical effects. In the beginning scene, I saw later on, but all of those people, I think all 600, were real people that came out. They like trained, or they bust them in, and they got paid for the full day. Like, every single person there is real. All the buildings you can actually touch. There's no green screen, blue screen. Well, I think there must have been some green screen in certain sections. I am curious about how they actually did that back then. That's one aspect. Another, which was very surprising for me, was the comedy actually landed. I completely see why Charlie Chaplin is seen as this icon even so much further down in history. Like, his humor was just purely American. I don't know, because like I can watch a French comedy or like something in a different language and everything, but even though this had no language, it translated very well, I think, even to modern times and comedy. I mean, it's slapstick, it's Looney Tunes, and it wasn't even just me. The other 4 people in my theater, they also were laughing, like, and individually I was surprised how much I found it like genuinely funny, and I would be a little surprised if someone came out of this not laughing at all. Like, I think there was some really smart jokes. Another thing I loved is because of the lack of dialogue, all the facial expressions, especially by Chaplin, was, I mean, perfection. I mean, they have to do so much acting in their body language and their facial expressions and their eyes. It was really amazing what they could portray. And obviously they were talking in some moments and you could kind of read their lips, but the feeling that I got when Chaplin was getting rejected so many times, like he portrayed it so well. I was just so surprised by how much acting that you could do with a film like this. Another big thing I was worried about was the story, because from the limited reviews I saw beforehand, the people that were giving it, not 5 out of 5. By the way, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but a lot of them were just saying like, oh, the story wasn't really there. And I was coming in expecting, because I knew it was a comedy, it's Charlie Chaplin. I just thought it was going to be a sequence of slapstick humor, not like loosely connected, but not really much substance there. And while it's not going to win any Oscars for the screenplay, I think it was really solid. I mean, I think it had a beginning, middle, and end. Everything felt realistic in a way. I mean, for what it is. The romance aspect to it, how the flashbacks. Again, I don't want to get too much into the story if you do want to watch it, but it held my attention the entire time, and it definitely wasn't just random events happening, which I think is what I was a little worried about. On a smaller note, it had a happy ending, which is, well, happy ending. This is a spoiler, but the fact that he got with the girl from before who clearly didn't like him that much and was just being mean to him, I don't know. That was not the happy ending I was expecting. And also, what are you trying to teach us? Like, money buys love, and like I get it. I mean, we're in capitalism central here in America, but it was a happy ending. He wasn't the tramp anymore, or whatever they were calling him. But it wasn't the relationship ending I was hoping for. And I guess the last thing in my ramblings is just Chaplin he's great. He's really great. His little walk that he does, the little dance he does with the forks, that's great. His acrobatics, I have one other of his films on my watch list that I gotta get around to. I think it's City Lights, I'm pretty sure. But if I like that one as well, even in home, because I don't think they're going to be shown in theaters, I definitely want to watch more of his films, because he truly was a genius. I mean, to direct, to act in it, I think he wrote it, like produced it probably. He was all parts of this. Is truly just a mark of a genius. Another little fun fact is that in the chicken outfit, originally it was planned to be somebody else, but they couldn't get his mannerisms, Chaplin's like mannerisms down, so they just put him in it, and it was perfect. And some last thoughts is, this is, morbid, but the fact that everyone is dead, like who worked on this, who was in it, who produced it, like every single person is dead, which I don't think I mean, All Quiet on the Western Front, maybe, but this is for sure. I mean, it was 100 years ago, and I don't know, this is probably just a weird thought, but it's weird to think about, is it not? Like, I think with a lot of pieces of art, like a book or a painting and everything, you can learn that, like, oh, this person isn't here anymore. They've passed away. You're like, oh, okay. But to have such a connection with a film like this, and to see these people lived on for the foreseeable future. I mean, if they keep playing this movie, it's really fascinating. It just makes me love film that much more. And then why I think it's a perfect piece of media, personally. That might be a hot take, but I just love movies and what they can give you in such a short period of time. But yeah, just the beauty of the fact that these people's acting can still make me feel things, and still make me feel happiness, humor, sadness, even 100 years later, even when they're long gone. I mean, Chaplin's been dead for however long. And it shows that this is a totally separate note, but that anyone can make a movie. I came out of this thinking like, oh, like I could make a silent film. Obviously not to this quality. I mean, it cost like $1 million to make back in 1925. But anyone can truly make a movie. You just got to start recording in a way. To finish it out, I got one more fun fact. The dancing roll sequence. So yeah, when he was going do 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 do, was so popular with audiences that in some cases, such as the film's Berlin premiere, projectionists stopped the film and replayed the scene. So like it was great. It was super super great. I would rewatch it in my free time if I was from 1925.